Well, hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Training. The weekend was so amazing with our regional training and everybody getting together and all of the things. It was wonderful. I think we all needed it. I think it was a breath of fresh air. I think it gave us um, a new lease on what we have with Singular. I think it showed us that we are stronger than ever, and we haven't seen anything yet with what is coming. And for all of you who attended, thank you for putting your business first this weekend. And for those of you who did not, I hope you go back and watch it. And I'm glad you're on tonight to get uh, a little review of what we learned. So Stacy Loftis is going to lead us tonight in this training, and I'm so excited because even though you're there and you see it, I mean, it's just so much information. It's like information overload. So I cannot wait to do this review and to hear about all the wonderful things that we learned this weekend. So Stace, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. For you all watching the recording, thank you for taking time out of your day to go back and watch the recording. And we're going to do something a little different this evening. But first of all, before we get into training, if you were at a watch party, whether it be when you hosted or someone else's, put that in the comments that you attended a watch party. Okay. And while you guys are doing that, even if you weren't at a watch party and you watched it, put in there that you watched it live at the comfort of your own home or on vacation or wherever you were at. Let's see, some watch party, some watched alone. I love it. All right, so here's the thing. Anytime we have big trainings like this, there's always, like Melissa said, a lot of information overload. We get so much put on us in, about 2.5 hour time period. This one was, I think, maybe close to 3. But what your goal always is listen and find out what applies to you, what you want to apply to your business. And my recommendation is pick 2 or 3 things. Okay, just 2 or 3. Don't try to tackle 5, 6, 7, 8 things. Pick 2 or 3 things and say, this is going to be my focal point between now and Fest. Okay, so what we're going to do that's a little bit different is we want to hear the takeaways that you all had. We want to hear maybe the one big thing or maybe 2 or 3 things that you liked about the training, what you got out of it, what you're going to apply, and what it is that's going to help you grow your business to the next level. So I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. I am going to give you guys time to think about it. But while you guys are doing that, I'm going to kind of go over one of my big things. And it was Robin Packard's unengaged versus engaged partner. And as she was going through that, I was looking at the list and I was reading it and thinking in my head, who am I? Which one am I? How consistent am I on being an engaged partner? Because I would love to tell you that 24/7, I am an engaged partner, but that would be false. And I think that anyone that's done this business for very long would not be able to say that they are 100% an engaged partner 100% of the time. So what I liked about it was she really broke down some things that you might feel that if you're doing, you're being engaged, but you're really not. Okay, you're just taking some simple steps. And just because you're taking some simple steps doesn't necessarily mean that you're engaged. What do I mean by that? Just throwing a post out on Facebook, just fishing for comments or fishing for someone to send you a private message. Yes, that's a great thing, but that is not necessarily you being engaged. And, only talks about Singular when prompted or when there's a promotion. Because if you're just talking to people about Singular, doing follow-ups and doing posting, doing other social media stuff, and being engaged just during promotion times or when you're prompted, you're not being engaged. If you're only product focused, and if you're doing stuff for customers when they ask you to do it, and not really following up and helping them. And yes, I think we all do these things. But if that's all we're doing, we're unengaged. Okay, we need to take a few more steps to make ourselves to be an engaged partner. And some of those things are, how often are you actively recruiting people into the business? How often are you making a list of your friends and family members or acquaintances that that would do great with Zingular, and then taking that list and reaching out to them? How often are you recruiting that way? How often are you going through your back office and getting with your customers and talking to them about the opportunity of being a partner and joining you? How often are you doing that? Some other things are, what's your duplication system look like? Are you helping people take the steps and being engaged with them and helping them actively take those steps to grow their own business? Or when you get a partner, are you just kind of throwing them in boards and saying, hey, everything's here? Or, hey, here's our training, make sure you're on it. And that's all you're doing. How often are you engaging with your new partners or with all your partners and helping them see where they're at and what they need help with? Another one is, are you doing self-development? And this is a big one for me. I love self-development, but I'll be honest with you, I've not done as much of it recently as I normally do. I'm usually pretty consistent about getting 30 minutes of personal development in a day, but for one reason or another, I've not let that be one of my focal points. So I know that's something for me personally, I've got to get back to. I've got to get back engaging in doing my personal growth every day, my personal development. Just a few other things. Are you utilizing social media in the right way to grow your business? Or are you just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and watching stories or reels? Are you utilizing Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms to help you grow your business? Some other ones are, do you understand the power of subscription? Are you hosting parties, whether it be online or in person? Are you doing these yourself? And I don't mean Jan and Greg setting them up for you, or Melissa or Christy or myself setting them up for you. I mean, are you setting them up? And if you're a new distributor, new partner, and you need help with that, obviously get with us. We'll help you with it and help you host it. But what are you doing? What kind of action are you taking when it comes to setting up events and parties for yourself and for your new partners? And there's a couple other things, but those are some things that made me really take a step back and say, okay, am I being as an engaged partner as I need to be to grow my business and grow my team? So that was one of my biggest takeaways. I had some other things, but I do not want to monopolize the whole time here this evening, because we want to hear from you. We want to hear, what are some things that you enjoyed? What are some things that you heard that maybe you feel like you need to work on? And how can we help you work on those? Because what our goal is getting this feedback from you all and then saying, okay, let us help you with whatever that might be. Okay, so, all right, I am going to just open it up, and whoever wants to go next, unmute themselves and let's talk. Not everybody at once. Tammy Hoyle, because you're the first one on my thing.
I'll go. So I have a couple takeaways. I really liked what you went over about Robin, but one of the things that I know I need to work on is when I get a new partner, we talk about Quick Start 1, we talk about Quick Start 2, we talk about Manager. I know they don't know a whole lot about PV, but I love the way she talked about setting a goal with a partner, a financial goal, and then really working towards helping them get that financial goal. And then I also love Jana. Jana always she gives analogies that stick with me. She paints a picture that, just clicks in my head, but I love the carousel and the roller coaster analogy with our businesses. And I've been around long enough to see the roller coaster, the ups and the downs. And I just thought that was just a good analogy.
No, I totally agree with you. And whoever, thought about using that analogy as, going into work somewhere, and most time when you go to work somewhere, your day is pretty much the same thing from the time you start your day to the time you end your day. You're just, you're on that carousel and just going around your day, one day after another, same thing over and over and again. But our Singular business is the total opposite of that. And I like how she gave that analogy that we've got to get our heads wrapped around that we are on a roller coaster ride. That's the ride we chose to be on. And you've got some great highs, and unfortunately there's going to be lows. But that's the nature of the business. That's not going to change. And I love that analogy. So who wants to go next? I'm going to have to go through here and pick on everybody. I really don't want to do that. I'll sick Melissa on you. Melissa's like the bulldog.
Stacy, I'll go.
Okay. Is this Tammy?
Yeah, it's Tammy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the Tammy show.
Okay.
So I got out, like, if I could have been done after Curtis's, I'd have thought that was the most amazing training ever. So I agree when we were posting in there that needs to be available for new prospects or new partners. That really was amazing to me. But for me, what stuck out the most is the social anxiety. I have a horrible social anxiety aspect. So like, I can't seem to talk about the business. I can't seem to like talk to people out in, Target or whatever. So that's where I have to work on. Like, I'm fine with reaching out to people about the products, but the business, I'm very, not very good at that.
Well, I'm going to give you a little tip to help you with that. And it's not going to be one you like to hear, but it works.
Okay.
The more you do it, the better you get at it. It is just, it's just a simple practice philosophy. And, that's something you can practice, in your team page or with team members or with family, close friends. And, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It probably never will be. Okay.
Right.
So don't shoot for perfection when you're sharing your story. Focus on being real. Focus on the emotional side of your story, of what it really has done for you and your family, and focus on those things. I mean, you're passionate about the business or you wouldn't be here. You're passionate about the products as well, and you feel comfortable talking about the products, but use that same passion that you enjoy, doing the business side of Singular, and write that down and say, what joy do I get from this? Why do I love doing the business so much? And what does it mean to me? And what has it done for me? And focus on those emotional things that you feel comfortable talking about. And the more you do it, the more you're going to feel comfortable with it. But you're never going to feel comfortable with it if you don't talk about it. You don't take those steps. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who is next?
I'll say something.
Okay.
I enjoyed how Cynthia always says, don't prejudge. And that is something that's hard not to do, because we all have these preconceived notions about everybody. And then, of course, 50 touches a day. That always helps.
It does. And it's one of the things I've got to get back into doing. I did that several months ago, and I will tell you firsthand, it works. When you do it consistently, the law of average is going to catch up. Now, if you just do it for 3 or 4 days, or maybe even a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and you stop, then you're probably not going to get much out of it. This is something that you've got to probably do for 30 days before you start seeing any big traction out of it. Will you maybe get some signups, in those first 30 days by doing it? You probably will, but it won't be till that next 30 days or the next 60 days that you really start seeing those 50 touches come into play and working. So it does work. I just, once again, got out of the habit of doing that. And that is actually one of the things today that I started doing again, because I know it works. I've seen it work for her, and I've seen it work for myself, and I've seen it work for other people who will do it consistently. So don't give up on it. And that's something that is sometimes easy to do, is when we don't get that, immediate gratification that we've done something for a week or two and it's not working, that we just want to abandon it. This is something you want to do, consistently for 60 and 90 days before you really start seeing what those 50 touches a day will do. Awesome. Okay. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
This is Jody.
Hey, Jody.
So the 50 touches was one of the things that I took away from as well. In the 50 touches, though, you're just basically talking about anything, right? Is that kind of how you do it, Stacy?
Yes, anything kind of goes. You're building, it's, the main thing is you're building relationships.
Okay.
It's getting people in your algorithm to see what you're doing on Facebook more. But you want to find a door that opens up, and it may not open up the first conversation, but you want to find a door that opens up, either business related or product related, or preferably both, that you can have a conversation with them. Okay. And that may be a little bit. So, don't go into the conversation thinking that door may open immediately.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So just, it might take a little bit, but be patient with it. Okay.
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 The other thing that I took away was actually from Maddie, creating FOMO. I really like that. That's something that I don't do a lot of, is doing, events or maybe free offerings, give them out some teasers, things like that, hosting sip and sees. So that's something that I need to myself get better at doing, because I think that's going to make me more comfortable with talking with people, and that will bring me outside of my comfort zone so that I can work up to talking to strangers in Target about whatever, so that's my takeaway on that.
Good. And that's going to be a good goal. Anytime
Yeah.
you can work on something to move yourself out of your comfort zone, that's always a good thing, because that's when great things start happening, is when you make yourself uncomfortable to do things that is going to grow your business, but initially it's a little uncomfortable doing. But yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Yes, go ahead, Linz.
So in addition to, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, your camera's kind of going in and out, but we can hear you.
Well, I'm gonna read something that I screenshotted. Hold on.
Okay.
I can't remember who said it, but it was I choose to change because I want things to change. I choose to get better because I want things to get better. I choose to improve because I want my situation to improve, and I choose to grow. I've always been a big believer in choice, and what is the saying? You have to make a choice to make a change, whatever that saying is. That's one of my favorite ones. And then in addition to the 50 touches a day was just filling your funnel. And I've been noticing the last few months just how important that is, because I haven't been taking my business seriously, and I'm seeing that now, and I want to take my business seriously, and I'm going to. And I see the benefits of filling your funnel, because I went to, and I'm one of those that I'm not one to just go up to somebody and strike up a conversation for anything. But I made it a point one day. I went into a gas station, and I looked up and I looked her in the eye, and I thought, hey, and I said to her, I love your hair. It's really cute. And we had a conversation about each other's hair. And I went back in like a week later, and we became friends on Facebook, and a week after that, she ended up ordering a kit from me. So I understand and I see that now. So that was my biggest takeaway from what I was able to watch. And I am currently rewatching it because I missed the first half of it, but that's what I got.
I love it. And I love that you stepped out of your comfort zone and had that conversation with that girl. And, you know, you just never know what small conversations are going to lead to. And, you know, and you did it perfectly. You know, you complimented her, you built that relationship with her. And then boom, next thing you know, she orders a kit from you. So the next conversation, if you've not had it, is for her to be a partner with you. So yeah.
That's in the works. We're actually currently, because she's got another gal that she works with that she bought my last 8-day jumpstart kit, and today's their last day. So I'm gonna follow up tonight and tomorrow with them and find out how they both did. But the other gal's also wanting to buy another kit. So I saw that benefit from just saying, oh my gosh, I love your hair. It's super cute.
I love it.
I got 2 people from that little compliment.
And, you know, like you said, you know, that wanting to make a change and taking those chances, you know, nothing changes if you don't change.
Right.
So, you know, and you decide to make that change and take the chance of, I'm going to go in and I'm going to talk to this lady. So good for you. All right. Who is next? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Any takers before I call on Vicky? All right. Vicky, no one jumped in front of you, so it's all you.
You got me muted, now, Stacy. Dadgum you. I knew that was fixing to happen. My takeaways were pretty much what Tammy, I almost said Hoyle, but anyways, what hers were. And the carousel and the roller coaster. That to me is something I think as I talk to partners and even old partners that are sitting there dormant, just go over that analogy with them and just talk about the roller coaster and try to bring them back on board. And I mean, we're all riding that roller coaster. I don't know anybody that's going straight up a hill. I'd like to know somebody that's going straight up a hill, but I hadn't seen anybody yet that says they have. And so I think just letting other people know that we're all going through it. It's not just them, or it's not the way it used to be, or it's going to be the rest of the time we're doing this business. And when you jump on board, you're jumping on board for the long haul. You can't look at it for a week, a month, a 2-month period. This is a long haul, and they've got to understand that. So I thought that was awesome.
I love that. And that is a conversation we need to have with people. Vicky, you're right. You know, we sometimes, you know, we have, you know, rode the roller coaster and lived it and understand it. But sometimes I think we fail to share that with our people when they start getting discouraged or start getting down or things aren't growing like they expect them to, that we need to go back and have those conversations to say, hey, you know, when you started this, if you remember, we talked about this is not a rocket ship that goes straight up in the sky. You know, I always give the analogy more of this is like a big plane on a long runway, and you're going to maybe be on that runway for a little while before you take off. And then when you're in the air, you might be hitting some turbulence. You might be bounced around a little bit. So those are some things that we need to go back and have with our partners that maybe we haven't had those conversations for a while. So yes, Vicky, I love that. All right, who is next? Who is next before I call on Chris Neely? And I know Chris's internet service is not the best at her house. So Chris, are you able to unmute?
Hey Stacy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
My presence isn't real presentable. We just come back from the garden and I think I hit the sauna 3 times.
You don't have to put your camera on yourself. Just share with us what some of your takeaways were.
From Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm just getting on.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just maybe one thing or two things that that you kind of took away from Saturday. Maybe some things that you're going to implement or maybe go back to implementing again. Just share with us what you took from it.
The engagement of trying to go back and do more calls, trying to hit more face-to-face and three-way calls. And we
Yeah.
used to do that so much and we've kind of went back from it. So trying to get back and get more involved with my team.
Yep. I love that. Anytime you make that opportunity present to where you can be either face to face with someone or on the phone with them or FaceTime, that's always much better than the messaging, even better than voice messaging, because they can hear your tone of voice more. They can, you have an actual conversation with them. They see your facial expression. You can kind of read theirs as well. So anytime you can get in front of somebody, like I said, in person or FaceTime, that's always great. And Chris, I agree. We've got to get back to that more than what we've been doing. Okay. Let's see. Does anybody want to unmute and go next? Before I call on Bambi. Does anybody want to go before Bambi?
I'll go next.
Who was it? Was that Sarah?
I'm Sarah.
All right.
Sarah
Yeah,
Gates.
go for it, Sarah.
Yeah. So my takeaway is also the carousel and the roller coaster. And the carousel was like working for a boss, and that's okay, especially when you're building your business. And but you don't really get anywhere on a carousel. But a roller coaster is very, very exciting, and there's twists and turns and ups and downs, and you have to expect that. And that's an important aspect too, that there's things that you need to take into consideration, and really don't worry so much about the journey, but enjoy the ride and welcome in, because it's not always easy, but it's exhilarating, and it's going to have ups and downs and twists and turns, and you just have to go with the flow. And also Jana was great. She was like, who are you even trying to lead? How are you showing yourself as a leader? How are you showing up as a leader? And that just struck me, because I'm always like looking around to follow, and I need to be a stronger leader. And Jana she's awesome. I took a lot of notes for her. So that was my takeaway.
Awesome. And Sarah, I love that. And I love that you are, making that mind shift of going from, okay, who am I following, to I want to be a leader to lead people.
Yes.
And,
and
go ahead.
Definitely going to do some more, just focus on trainings more, just fill my funnel with trainings, and just I've been working on myself. I'm at the gym right now, and building my self-confidence so that I'll be a good leader, and doing my self-development and everything. So I feel like it's a good start. I'm making a good start. So
good for you. I love that you're in the gym and joining us on training. Good for you.
Yeah.
You're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yes. Every
Yes.
week I'm at the gym listening.
Continue focusing on yourself, get into personal growth, and let me tell you, you will make a good leader. I am a firm believer.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I am a firm believer that leaders are not born. I think leaders are developed. I think leaders are developed through personal growth and through good mentorship and showing up and being consistent. And let me tell you, Sarah, you do those things and you're going to be an amazing leader. I just know it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Who wants to go next? All right. I'm just going to go down through the thing here, and I want to call Miss Leslie Lewis.
Hello, Stacy. How are you? So I guess my biggest takeaway is the vision board, because I realize that you have to be more focused on what you're putting down and what your wishes and what your goals are. And I found when I did my vision board, I didn't do that. Like I just randomly put things down, but I need to be a little more intentional on that. So that was probably one of the things that struck me. And also being more engaged versus unengaged. I was feeling that when I looked at that, that kind of hit me. I actually started in my notes here because I just found that I'm probably more unengaged. I need to focus being more engaged and help growing my business. And seeing now, like I felt this whole training was like an aha moment for me. So it was just amazing. I have so many notes. I can go on. I took like tons of notes, but yeah.
Just remember, just take 2 or 3 and apply them. Don't overwhelm
That-
yourself. Don't try to tackle all of them. Pick your 2 or 3 that you feel like they're the most important things that's going to help you grow your business. And then let your upline know that these are the things I want to work on. Can you help me with them?
You're right. And I believe the 50 touches, like everybody else has been saying too, is so important. And I've been starting to, I was doing that before and I stopped. And when you were talking about that, I was like, oh boy. So I need to be more consistent and doing it as well. So
it works. It truly does.
I will let it, I'm going to keep doing it and reap the rewards at the end. So thank you.
You're welcome. Good for you.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks.
Anyone else want to volunteer? Because we're getting close to probably a 30-minute mark. Actually, we're at 33 minutes. Anyone else would like to volunteer and share their takeaways from our from our roadshow? Melissa, Jane, Greg, Christy, any of y'all want to unmute and share with us what you guys took away from it?
Well, the roller coaster is always good for me, because if you've ever gone down and ridden the Hulk, and you think about that little tick, 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 the anticipation as you're ticking slowly up, and then that reverse angle down is absolutely amazing. But really for me, especially, I look at early on when I really got the business into my head, was I started looking at it no different than your investments. I'm not a day trader. I'm investing because somebody said it a little bit earlier about the long haul. You invest for the long haul. You invest for later. And we don't know. I mean, this happens for you in God's time. You just have to work it, invest. And like you said, Stace, earlier about self-development and all the processes that go along with our business. It's just investment. It's compounding that investment over and over. So that's kind of, in my simple brain, how I kind of look at it. The touches, the different things that we do every day that get, like everybody else described, they get monotonous. They feel time consuming. You sometimes wonder, oh my gosh, nothing's happening, because you're not seeing that immediate return, but you'll get that return on investment, because I've said it to lots of people on here. There were many days I went down the road to when we were working, pounding on that steering wheel with tears in my eyes, saying, is this going to happen? And our mentors just kept telling us, stay the course.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Greg. All right.
Christy gonna go?
I don't. Let's see. She may have had to jump.
Yeah. Let me finish it out.
Yep, I was going to say, go ahead and share with us, and I'll let you go ahead and close it out when you're finished.
So when Maddie Walsh opened up and she said that Jesus chose his 12, and who is your tribe? Who are the people that you're bringing with you? And that really like struck me. There's over 300 million people just in the US alone. Who go find you 10, go find you 5 out of 300 million people. If you look hard enough, you can find 5 people who want this like you do. And that is like the biggest takeaway is like Jesus found 12. Like, they had to think he was crazy when he told them, there's no way that they could have believed him at first. But he had to tell them, he had to show them, he had to convince them that he was the Messiah. You just got to find a few people and convince them that singular is the thing that's going to take them to their dreams. Out of all the people in the US, out of 300 million people, you can find 5 that want it like you. You can find 5 people that want to be consistent and build their dreams. You can find 5 people who are sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You can find 5 people who don't want to swipe the card at the grocery store because they don't know if it's going to go through. You can find 5 people who are mamas that don't want to go to work but are having to leave their babies every day. Out of 300 million people, 5 people can change everything for your business, not 12. If you can find 12, that's great. Hey, what about 3? I mean, just go and find the people and don't stop looking. You can find, in the meantime, you may find some customers. You may find some people who just want to get their products paid for, but you keep going until you find the 5 sharks that are just like you, that show up every day, that are consistent. And while I'm saying that, this isn't part of the training, but if you find 5 just like you, is that going to build you a good business? If not, maybe you need to change something. And if you change something, and if you work your butt off, and if you're consistent and you do it every single day, you do it in spite of everything that comes up, and you start building, you can find the people that want to follow you, because that's what leadership is about. Leading by example, doing and not telling, showing and not just being the person who says they want it, but actually do something to show you want it. So that's what I was very proud of her for doing that. And I'm proud of all of you guys for showing up. You have not watched it, find somebody to share that link with you and watch it, because it's really, really good. And then I agree with Tammy about Curtis, because, oh my gosh, I've talked to everybody. I've already screen recorded it, and I'm going to try to edit it and put it on YouTube, whether they give it to me or not, because I honestly think that would be the greatest onboarding video that we have ever had from a corporate standpoint. It's fantastic. So, other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end this and declare Ephesians 3:20 over all of you. God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can think or ask, because we honor him. His blessings are going to chase us down and overtake us. You are in the right place at the right time, and I believe it now more than ever. And I declare a boldness over all of you. God is going to open supernatural doors. People are going to seek us out, and we are going to rise in the ranks because we give him the honor and glory for it all. And I love you guys. God bless you guys. God bless America, and pray for our nation. Love you.